Hey friends, today's topic is Destiny 2's end of live service leading to collateral damage of Marathon. I'm not trying to change your mind, I'm just giving some extra perspective. We're at the anger stage of grief in the Destiny community right now. And I'm going to get double the hate on this video for not loving Marathon enough to some people, but also not hating Marathon enough to others. I'm apathetic to the game itself, but as a content creator, I have to pay attention to Marathon's health as it's tied to Bungie, which is tied to Destiny's future as an IP. Marathon is a great game though. It has a gorgeous setting with deep lore, industry best gunplay, incredible sound design, a quick responsive dev team, and masterful combat design elements. But it's not for me because it's an extraction shooter. It really is that simple. But that's not enough of a reason for me to pray for its demise. Even if you could argue that Marathon takes potential budget away from Destiny, Destiny wouldn't even know what to do with that extra fund because it fumbles the easiest crowd W's over and over again because it doesn't know what it wants or needs to be. Marathon is not the scapegoat. Some Bungie employees would have been burned out from working on Destiny for so many years and would have quit if Marathon didn't exist to be a creative outlet for them. The boots on the ground developer is talented and makes great stuff. But what I'm wondering is these leadership decisions are puzzling. What gives? I'm not surprised that Marathon isn't popular. Even if Arc Raiders never existed, I don't think it would change Marathon's current situation. Here's what I think the main culprits to Marathon's situation are. So there's a little comic there. I think it's called Boardroom Meeting. It goes, I have to talk like this for commuters. The boss is at the end of the table and he goes, "What does Marathon need?" And then the employees go, "Extraction." Another employee goes, "Hardcore." And the third employee goes, "Non-extraction modes." Then the boss looks angrily at him and then kicks him out the window. So here's what led to Marathon's situation. An art scandal, a game director change/scandal. They went all in on a niche genre with no proper onboarding systems or alternative modes to ease players into the game. And then the genre itself creates conflicting goals with the best aspects of Marathon, like rich build crafting depth, but there's no permanent market stock or guaranteed gear routes to use those builds. They're not even a testing range. Now, I could talk about ranked, but I don't feel I'm experienced enough in that, so I'll save that for someone else to do it justice. At the end of the day, just play what you like. Forcing yourself to play Marathon if you don't like it won't bring about Destiny 3, the same way playing Apex Legends won't bring about Titanfall 3. I'll try out Marathon again if it ever gets side modes. I really don't like extraction shooters. I'd rather play RuneScape and risk fight somebody for a college tuition amount of gold than to play an extraction shooter. I'd rather grind a fighting game than to play a bad Destiny 2 patch. Ultimately, Destiny killed Destiny through general mismanagement. Next, slow response to balancing issues. On screen, I have a picture of a video called Game Balance Isn't Real that talks about the biases of top players in regards to complaining about game balance, and from a dev's perspective, how game balance is kinda just vibes. So it's a very good watch and I do recommend it. Next, content vaulting and experiential FOMO. New players needed a starting point and an on-ramp, and honestly, the 3 on the box would have been enough of an illusion to convince them to try it out. Next, sunsetting execution. There were no hard resets or seasonal realms, and a failure to side-grade loot or create intrinsically appealing content where you don't even need loot. Next, I want to talk about a crafting system failure by reminding you that I already did a video on this with its own PowerPoint. I'm not going to read all of these, but if you're just wondering if I'm crazy about crafting, this will give you more perspective. I'm going to read this slide and then just pause through the next ones. What makes a good crafting system? Number 1, it creates purpose to engage with all content. Number 2, deterministic endpoint and or bad luck protection. Number 3, enable specific build crafting for a cost. And now just pausing through this, an example of Phantasy Star Online 2 Classic system. How Destiny crafting should have launched. How to salvage Destiny's crafting system. And then at the end of it all, what if Destiny 2 separated sandboxes or changed genres? Then crafting could be skipped altogether, and instead they could offer mega rares. Back on track. Destiny killed Destiny. New loot system rollout failures. The new armor system was designed nicely, but still rolled out poor due to old armor being objectively better in contest environments. Reversion of Checkmate PvP rule set, and not distinct enough PvP offerings for different crowds. Next, No other new games of the IP, not necessarily Destiny 3. Destiny Rising was a good example of trying to do something different, but it's a mobile game. You know, when I say a new game of the IP, I mean something you could play on Steam or your console. Finally, the biggest thing that killed Destiny is identity crisis and cyclical changes that cater to different opposing groups. For example, I polled my own audience on various Destiny related questions. Pause on screen for a second if you want. The Destiny community has been historically toxic. Now, while their intentions may have been somewhat justified or noble due to Bungie's one step forward, two steps back curse, the result is that it still might be too abrasive for Bungie to want to continue. And then on screen I have a meme of Glaive players arguing with hand cannon shoddy players. If not Destiny 3, then what kind of Destiny? For all we know, the IP could have been sold to a different studio and become a different genre, which could have been exactly what Destiny 2 needed. Examples of a different genre: Diablo-style Destiny, World of Warcraft Destiny, Resident Evil Destiny, Halo Destiny, PSO1 Destiny, Rogue Shooter Destiny. And then, if nothing else happens, the final patch might be a good one, and we might just play it like we play Titanfall 2 or Halo the Master Chief Collection. In either case, cheaters are about to run wild on PC. Thanks for watching.